In every generation, humans think their problems are new. Stress, heartbreak, confusion, fear, overthinking. We feel like no one truly understands what we're going through. But thousands of years ago, Lord Krishna already spoke about every struggle we face today. The world has changed, technology has changed, but the human mind, the human heart, the human ego, they are still the same. And that's why Krishna's wisdom is timeless. In this video, we'll explore Krishna's powerful teachings and how they can solve modern-day problems. Careers, relationships, stress, purpose, and inner peace. Let's begin. 1. Overthinking and anxiety. Do your duty, leave the rest to me. Overthinking is one of the biggest problems in today's world. We worry about everything: our future, career, relationships, money, what people will say, and what might go wrong. Our mind keeps running like a machine, creating fear and stress. Krishna understood this human weakness thousands of years ago, which is why he gave Arjuna the most powerful advice. Focus only on your actions, not the results. Krishna's message is beautifully simple. Do your duty with full heart, but don't torture yourself about outcomes. When we think too much about the result, we stop living in the present moment. We lose energy, confidence, and peace. But when you focus only on doing your best today, studying sincerely, working honestly, improving yourself patiently, your mind becomes lighter, clearer, and calmer. Overthinking comes from wanting to control everything. But Krishna reminds us that results are not in our hands. You can plan, prepare, and try hard, but the final outcome is shaped by many forces: timing, destiny, opportunities, and divine grace. So why carry a burden that was never yours? When you let go of the need to control the future, anxiety naturally melts away. And this is where faith enters. Krishna says, leave the rest to me. Do what you can with sincerity and devotion. Then trust that whatever happens will be right for your journey. This trust turns stress into strength, turns fear into freedom, and it turns ordinary living into peaceful living. When you follow Krishna's advice, life becomes simpler and your heart becomes calmer. 2. The pressure to prove yourself. Stay true to your inner dharma. In today's world, everyone feels pressure to prove themselves, to show success, make money fast, achieve big things, and look perfect in front of others. Social media adds even more pressure. We start comparing our life with others and feel like we are behind. But Krishna teaches us that real peace comes only when we stop living for the crowd and start living for our inner dharma, our true path, our true nature. Krishna told Arjuna something very powerful. It is better to follow your own path imperfectly than to follow someone else's path perfectly. This means your life has its own purpose. Your journey is different from everyone else's. You don't need to be like your friends, your relatives, or the people you see online. When you try to impress others or force yourself into a life that isn't yours, you lose your joy and confidence. True success comes when you listen to your inner voice, the quiet feeling inside that tells you what is right for you. Some people are meant to create, some to teach, some to serve, some to build, some to explore. Krishna tells us that your dharma, even if small, is more meaningful than copying someone else's big achievements. When you stay loyal to who you really are, life becomes lighter, easier, and more fulfilling. So whenever you feel pressured to prove yourself, pause and ask, is this truly my path? If your actions match your inner purpose, you will naturally grow, shine, and succeed. You don't need to prove anything to the world. You just need to be aligned with your dharma. Krishna's advice is simple. Don't chase recognition. Chase authenticity, because when you follow your true path, success will come to you on its own. 3. Fear of failure. Every step on your path has meaning. Fear of failure holds more people back than failure itself. Today, many are scared to start something new because they think, what if I fail? What will others think? This fear stops dreams, blocks opportunities, and keeps us stuck in the same place. But Krishna gives a gentle, powerful reminder. There is no such thing as wasted effort. Every action you take with sincerity has value. Krishna tells Arjuna, no good action ever goes to waste. Even if things don't go the way you want, you still learn something important. Patience, strength, discipline, courage. These lessons become stepping stones for your next attempt. Failure doesn't mean stop. It simply means try again, but wiser. Every effort shapes your character and prepares you for a better version of the future. We fear failure because we think it defines our worth. But Krishna says your worth comes from your sincerity, not from your results. As long as your intentions are pure and your effort is honest, you are already successful in the eyes of the divine. When you understand this, the pressure reduces. You start moving forward with confidence instead of fear. So remember this, every step counts, even the messy ones, even the attempts that don't work out, even the dreams that didn't turn out how you imagined. Krishna's wisdom teaches us that failure is not the end. It is guidance. It redirects you, strengthens you, and pushes you closer to your true destiny. When you walk the path with faith, every step becomes meaningful. 4. Relationship stress. Attachment creates pain. Love creates freedom. Modern relationships often bring stress because we hold on to people with fear, expectations, and insecurity. We start to believe our happiness depends on how someone treats us. When they don't reply, we panic. When they change, we feel hurt. When they walk away, we break down. Krishna explains the root behind all this pain in one simple truth. Attachment creates suffering. Attachment is not love. It is fear disguised as love. Krishna teaches that attachment means trying to control someone. Behave the way I want. Love me the way I expect. Never change. Never leave. But real love doesn't demand or restrict. It understands, accepts, and gives space. When you rely too much on someone for emotional security, you lose your inner strength. You become dependent, and dependence always leads to anxiety. Krishna wants us to rise above this, to love without losing ourselves. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It means you love with purity, not insecurity. You give your best in the relationship, but you don't collapse if the other person disappoints you. You stay centered, balanced, and emotionally steady. Krishna's wisdom teaches that love becomes peaceful when you stop trying so hard to control everything. When you practice this kind of love, something magical happens. The relationship feels lighter, the connection becomes healthier, and your heart becomes stronger. Krishna reminds us that true love creates freedom. Freedom for you and freedom for the person you love. When you let go of attachment, you don't lose love. You finally experience it in its purest form. 5. Mental stress. The mind is a constant companion. Train it daily. Today, most of our stress doesn't come from the world outside. It comes from the thoughts inside our head. The mind keeps jumping from one worry to another. Work, relationships, money, future, past mistakes. Krishna understood this restless nature of the mind and said clearly, the mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. If you don't train it, the mind will control you. But if you guide it, it will protect you and bring peace. Krishna teaches that the mind becomes peaceful through daily discipline, not sudden change. Just like the body needs food every day, the mind needs positive input every day. A few minutes of prayer, meditation, chanting, reading a sacred verse, or simply sitting in silence. These small habits slowly calm the mind and reduce stress. Even 10 minutes of spiritual practice can make your whole day feel lighter. In the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says controlling the mind feels as hard as controlling the wind. Krishna agrees, but he also says it's possible through practice and detachment. Practice means doing something again and again until the mind becomes steady. Detachment means not reacting to every thought or emotion. When you stop chasing every worry, the mind stops running wildly. It learns to stay still. The mind is your constant companion. You live with it every second. So the more lovingly you train it, the more peacefully you will live. A trained mind creates clarity, confidence, and inner strength. An untrained mind creates stress, chaos, and confusion. Krishna's message is simple. Don't fight your mind. Guide it. When you nourish it daily with spiritual discipline, your mind transforms from a source of stress into a source of strength. 6. Losing purpose in life. Remember who you are. In today's fast-moving world, many people feel lost. They wake up, go to work, scroll on their phone, and repeat the same routine every day. But inside, they feel empty. They wonder, what am I doing with my life? What is my purpose? Krishna gives the most beautiful answer. You are not this temporary body. You are an eternal soul. When we forget this truth, life feels confusing. When we remember it, everything becomes clear. Most people think their purpose is their job, their success, or their achievements. But Krishna reminds us that these things are only roles we play, not who we really are. Your body will change. Your job may change. Your relationships will change. But your soul remains the same. When you understand this, you realize that purpose is not something outside to chase. It is something inside to awaken. Krishna teaches that the soul's natural purpose is simple: to grow, to learn, to love, to serve, and to rise higher. This can be done in any situation, whether you are a student, a parent, an employee, an artist, or someone still searching. You don't need a perfect life to have purpose. Purpose comes from how you live, not from what title you have. Even small acts, helping someone, speaking kindly, doing your work with sincerity, become meaningful when done with awareness of your true nature. When life feels directionless, Krishna's message acts like a bright lamp. Remember who you are. You are a soul on a journey, and every experience, good or bad, shapes your growth. You don't need to figure out your whole life at once. Just take one step with awareness, one step with faith, one step with kindness. Slowly, your purpose becomes visible. When you live as a soul, not just a body, every day becomes meaningful. 7. Handling negative people. Stay unshaken like a deep ocean. Negative people are everywhere. Those who criticize, gossip, insult, or try to bring you down. In modern life, you meet them in the workplace, at home, in friendships, and especially online. Their words and actions can easily disturb your peace if you let them. But Krishna gives a powerful image. A wise person remains calm like a deep ocean, even when countless rivers flow into it. This means, don't let the chaos around you shake the peace within you. People act from their nature. Some are kind, some angry, some jealous, some insecure. Krishna reminds us, you cannot control them, but you can control your response. If you react to every comment, every insult, every small negativity, your mind becomes like a stormy sea, restless and disturbed. But if you stay steady, their negativity loses all power. Silence becomes your strength. Krishna teaches that a calm mind is not weak, it is powerful. Anyone can shout, argue, or get angry, but it takes real strength to stay centered. When you stop taking others' behavior personally, life becomes lighter. Most of the time, their negativity is a reflection of their own struggles, not your worth. Krishna encourages you to rise above their level and act from wisdom, not emotion. Being unshaken like the ocean doesn't mean you allow disrespect. It means you no longer let negativity control your peace. You set boundaries, protect your energy, and choose your battles wisely. Calmness is not surrender, it is mastery. When you carry Krishna's wisdom in your heart, negative people can no longer disturb your inner world. You become steady, peaceful, and unshakable, just like the deep ocean. 8. Dealing with loss and heartbreak. Nothing is truly lost. Loss and heartbreak are some of the hardest experiences in life. Whether it is losing someone you love, the end of a relationship, or a dream that broke halfway, the pain feels heavy and personal. It feels like something inside you has been taken away forever. But Krishna offers a comforting truth. The soul is eternal. Nothing real can ever be destroyed. This means the love, the lessons, the memories, they remain with you, even when the person or situation is no longer there physically. Krishna reminds us that everything in this world is temporary. People, moments, situations, but their impact on the soul is permanent. What you loved, what you learned, how you grew, these things never leave you. Heartbreak feels like the end, but Krishna shows it as a transition. When something leaves your life, it creates space for new growth, new wisdom, and sometimes new blessings that you couldn't see before. Loss is painful, but it is not meaningless. Most of our suffering comes from thinking, this should have stayed forever. But Krishna teaches that whatever leaves your life has completed its role in your journey. Sometimes people walk away to protect your future. Sometimes endings happen to redirect you towards something better. Sometimes heartbreak is the universe whispering, you deserve more than you were settling for. When you trust this divine timing, the pain becomes lighter and easier to carry. Krishna's message brings deep comfort. Nothing truly valuable is ever lost. The bond you shared, the love you felt, the lessons you gained, they stay in your heart and shape your soul. Even if life breaks you for a moment, it builds you for a lifetime. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means remembering with peace instead of pain. When you see loss through Krishna's wisdom, you realize that every ending is secretly a new beginning, guided by his grace. 9. Confusion in decision-making. Surrender removes chaos. Modern life gives us too many choices. Career paths, relationships, opportunities, goals, dreams. And the more choices we have, the more confused we become. We fear making the wrong decision. We fear regret. We fear judgment. This confusion creates mental chaos and drains our energy. Krishna gives a beautiful solution. Surrender your decisions to me. It means you don't have to carry the entire burden alone. You can let divine guidance flow into your life. Surrender doesn't mean sitting quietly and doing nothing. Krishna never asked Arjuna to avoid action. Instead, he said, act with clarity, but release the fear of consequences. When your intention is pure and your heart is steady, your decisions naturally become wiser. Confusion comes when the mind is full of fear, but clarity comes when the heart feels connected to something higher. Krishna teaches us to move from fear-based decisions to faith-based decisions. When you surrender, you shift your inner state. You stop forcing life. You stop overthinking every small step. You stop trying to control everything. Instead, you focus on what feels right, what feels aligned with your values, and what brings peace to your soul. This alignment invites inner guidance, a quiet intuition that Krishna places within you. With surrender, you stop walking alone. You start walking with him. Krishna's message is simple and powerful. When you trust, confusion fades. Decisions become easier. The path becomes clearer. You no longer rush, panic, or doubt yourself. You act with courage and leave the outcome to him. Life becomes smoother because the weight you once carried is now in divine hands. Surrender is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the calm that removes chaos and opens the door to the right path at the right time. 10. Ego, anger, and impatience. Control your inner enemies first. Most people think their biggest problems come from the outside. Difficult people, challenging situations, or unexpected obstacles. But Krishna reveals a deeper truth. Our real enemies live inside us. Ego, anger, greed, and impatience are the forces that disturb our peace more than any external situation. Krishna explains that anger comes from frustrated desire. Desire comes from attachment, and attachment clouds our wisdom. When you lose control of your inner world, the outer world feels chaotic. Ego makes us believe we are always right. Anger makes us react before thinking. Impatience makes us rush into decisions and lose opportunities. These qualities not only damage relationships but also weaken our mind. Krishna teaches Arjuna that a disciplined mind leads to victory, while an uncontrolled mind leads to defeat. In simple words, your inner state shapes your outer life. If you conquer your thoughts, emotions, and impulses, nothing outside can overpower you. Krishna encourages us to practice self-control, not to punish ourselves, but to protect our peace. When someone says something hurtful, the ego wants to attack back. But wisdom says stay calm. When things don't go your way, impatience pushes you to give up or become upset. But faith says trust the timing. The more you pause, breathe, reflect, and respond wisely, the stronger you become. This is how you build true inner power. Krishna's message is timeless. Master yourself first. Once you control your inner enemies, life becomes smoother. Small things don't bother you. Challenges don't scare you. People's opinions don't shake you. You start acting from strength, not emotion. And slowly, ego turns into humility. Anger turns into understanding. And impatience turns into patience. When the battlefield inside you becomes peaceful, the world outside becomes peaceful too. 11. Wealth, success, and competition. Work with purity, not greed. In today's world, everyone wants to succeed quickly. People chase money, fame, recognition, and status, thinking that these things will finally make them happy. Competition is everywhere, at work, in business, even on social media. But Krishna gives us a gentle reminder. There is nothing wrong with wanting success, but the intention behind it must be pure. He warns that when success is driven by greed, ego, or jealousy, it creates stress and unhappiness, not peace. Krishna teaches that success built on honesty, effort, and sincerity becomes a blessing. But success built through shortcuts, comparison, or selfishness becomes a burden. When your mind is focused only on winning against others, you lose connection with your own path. Krishna tells Arjuna that the best work is done with purity, without hatred, competition, or ego. When you work with a clean heart, life supports you in unexpected ways. In modern life, many people burn out because they think they must constantly prove themselves. But Krishna's wisdom brings calm. Do your work as an offering, not as an obsession. When you treat your work as devotion, whether you are studying, running a business, or doing a job, it becomes meaningful and peaceful. You stop comparing yourself with others and start focusing on becoming better than your past self. This shift removes jealousy and brings real confidence. Krishna's message is powerful for today. Work hard, but don't lose your values. Earn money, but don't lose your peace. Grow, but grow with grace. When success comes from purity, it stays. When wealth is earned with integrity, it brings joy. And when competition doesn't come from jealousy but from self-improvement, it leads to real progress. Krishna shows us that true success is not just about what you achieve, but about who you become while achieving it. 12. When life feels unfair, everything happens for your growth. Sometimes life hits us with situations that feel completely unfair. You work hard, but someone else gets the opportunity. You love sincerely, but someone hurts you. You try your best, yet things still fall apart. In those moments, it is natural to ask, why me? What did I do wrong? Krishna understands this pain and gives us a comforting truth. Life may not always feel fair, but it is always purposeful. Nothing happens without meaning. Krishna teaches that life's challenges are not punishments. They are lessons for the soul's evolution. The delays, the betrayals, the failures, and the difficulties are shaping you into a stronger, wiser, more mature version of yourself. What looks unfair today often becomes the reason for your growth tomorrow. Krishna says, what happens is ultimately for your good, even if you cannot see it right now. We can only see the present moment, but he sees the full journey. Most of our suffering comes from fighting reality and thinking, this shouldn't have happened. But Krishna reminds us that everything you experience has a hidden blessing. Sometimes you lose something because it was limiting you. Sometimes people walk away to make space for better souls. Sometimes doors close because a better path is waiting ahead. What you call unfair, Krishna calls protection. What you call loss, Krishna calls redirection. Krishna's wisdom helps you trust life again. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, what is this trying to teach me? With this shift, pain becomes power, setbacks become steps forward, and challenges become opportunities. You realize that life is not against you, it is shaping you. Krishna's message is simple and healing. Everything that happens is preparing you for something bigger, better, and more aligned with your soul's path. Trust the process. Krishna's wisdom, a guide for every generation. Life today is fast, stressful, and full of pressure. But Krishna's timeless wisdom reminds us that peace is always within reach. Whether it's overthinking, fear, heartbreak, confusion, ego, or the need to prove ourselves, Krishna shows us that the answers we are searching for outside are already inside us. His teachings are not just ancient verses. They are practical solutions for modern problems. Krishna teaches us to act with sincerity, love without attachment, work without greed, and live without fear. He reminds us to trust the timing of life, to stay true to our inner path, and to surrender the results with faith. When we walk with him in our heart, even the hardest situations become lighter, and even the most confusing paths become clear. His wisdom doesn't remove challenges. It prepares us to face them with strength, clarity, and calm. It transforms our mindset, heals our emotions, and awakens the true purpose of our soul. With Krishna's guidance, we learn to live peacefully, love deeply, and grow continuously, no matter what the world around us looks like. So whenever life feels heavy, just pause and remember, Krishna is always with you, guiding, protecting, and strengthening you. Walk with faith, act with purity, live with love, and let his timeless wisdom light your path forward.